I'm not cool enough for special effects, so I'm sorry. I don't know. I want to do something special with this. You know what? Hey, Elray Network, Lucha Underground, send me more of these so I can do something with them. Make a background out of them or something. These are so cool. I only have one. I really can't do anything with it. I mean, I could stick it to my forehead, but send me. You know what? Send me a big one of these so I can put it on my mask. That'd be slick. All right. Well, welcome back, everyone. This is Jason. Sorry, just in a goofy mood. Lack of sleep. Yeah, that's what it is. Uh, and I'm sorry this is so late. It's like next week now. From when I originally saw this. This video is going to be doing my review of Lucha Underground number 13. Lucky number 13. Or is it unlucky number 13? Well, whatever. Luck's for losers. So CM Punk says. Anyways, here we go. Number 13 review. Great episode. Lots of action. Starts out with a match between Son of Havoc coming out with Ivelisse versus Angelico. And Angelico, I like to compare. He's one of the newer guys that they've been showing on this Lucha Underground. And I like to compare him to a very tall style wrestler of Justin Gabriel, who's actually another guy from South Africa, where this Angelico is from. Great wrestler, very, very fun to watch. Great high flyer, and it's you usually see the smaller guys doing the high flying stuff. This guy is tall. I don't know how tall he is, but he's significantly taller than Son of Havoc. Son of Havoc is, well, I'm 5'10". I'm not the tallest guy in the world. Son of Havoc is like 5 something. I think his valet who comes out with him, Ivelisse, is even taller than him. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, Ivelisse, comes out there and she's yelling at the crowd and she's pissed off and she says she's the baddest bitch in the temple or something to that effect, and or toughest, one of the two. But she certainly proves this because how the match ends is through a little series of mishaps. Havoc, or Son of Havoc, ends up spearing Ivelisse through the ropes, and she lands on the floor. And then in the process of all these other little mishaps, ends up losing to Angelico. Angelico comes out with a win, and yeah, crowd very much into this. And Ivelisse is visibly hurt, and even more than that, visibly pissed. So it's gonna be funny to see where this goes in the next few weeks. What this relationship between Ivelisse and Son of Havoc is going to turn into. Is she going to start coming out with other guys that are going up against Havoc to start an interesting little rivalry triangle, love triangle thing? Speaking of love triangle, this isn't the only love triangle that apparently is going on. But we'll get to that in a little bit. We then go to a backstage segment in Dario Cueto's office, and he's sitting down with Johnny Mundo, and he says that he's had time to cool off, and Mundo says he's ready for action, and Cueto says they should let bygones be bygones, and he wants to see more of his 5-star matches, and that's true. I think we've all been missing Johnny Mundo's 5-star matches. So he says he is going to put him in the main event so we can see this 5-star match. up against Cage. So Mundo versus Cage is the main event for this show. And Johnny Mundo says, "Oh, you mean the ham bone that trashed your belt?" Ham bone. He calls Cage a ham bone. Oh, love Johnny. I've certainly missed him. John Morrison may have not always been the best with promos, but since this show has started, he's certainly shown his acting ability. And I'm not saying he's going to win an Emmy for any of this stuff, but he's certainly improved, and he's very entertaining on the show. I've sincerely missed him, watching him in the ring the last several years that he's been gone from the WWE, and to have him be a star on the show, just awesome. He's been doing a great job. Big can. Keep me awake so I can do this. Let's check the time because Raw starts soon. But enough about that show. That other show. So yeah, we're gonna get a main event between Mundo and Cage. Then we get to another match between another newer guy they've been featuring, and this guy's been a little more of a, I hate to say jobber, because all these guys are really talented, just some are more in the habit of losing lately. But this famous B, he's a good wrestler. I like to compare him to the style and or look of like Jay Lethal. Yeah, certainly like Jay Lethal. He goes up against Pentagon Jr. And Pentagon Jr. and him have a good match. This one actually ends up in submission. And Pentagon Jr. wins, and he's cutting a promo in the ring after his match, and I love that they put, because a lot of these guys, the luchadors, speak Spanish, and whenever they do speak to the crowd, they put subtitles underneath them, and it's very like if you ever see other like retro or classic, I say classic movies that are on the El Rey network, kind of like these old grindhouse movies, and if there's subtitles in those, or like the kung fu ones, something like that, and there's subtitles in there, it's like it's not just regular subtitles, they look like classic subtitles, because the show itself is a very cinematic how it's produced. So I like that. It's like you can still, you don't miss a beat with these guys. Yeah, you may not understand them, but you still understand what they're saying. You can read it, the English subtitles, because it's aimed at an American audience, even though this is all, lucha style. So yeah, Pentagon Jr. says, "I am loyal to you, master," or something to that effect. And it's going to be interesting. It's like, who is Pentagon Jr. talking to? Is some other lucha legend going to be, coming soon and teaming up with Pentagon Jr.? I imagine that's going to be what's going on. It's kind of hard to tell. But nonetheless, good match. Pentagon Jr. wins by submission. Then we get to, and I'm going to have to watch this again to get all the dialogue from it, because I feel like I missed part of it here, especially when taking my notes from the show. Dario Cueto's in like the underbelly of the temple. He's in this like the old looking like nasty jail cell. It's you can tell it's like underground-ish. He's talking to this guy who they still haven't shown his face yet. He's talking about how the mysterious woman, he called her Black Letta, something like that. The one that showed up at the end of last week's episode that surprised him and said she's looking for Matanza, and he said, but Cueto said, "I have to protect my temple from Matanza." So this is all going to come full circle somehow, some way. Faces and characters are going to be revealed. I love the buildup of this. How they're doing this is just great. We get to another match. great match between Drago versus Aerostar. Aerostar being another one of the newer guys they've been featuring lately. And these two actually had like the code of honor, like from like Ring of Honor, or like Japan or whatever. Um, Great match between these two. Drago wins. We get to another backstage cinematic segment between Phoenix and Katrina. Phoenix is working out, and Katrina like sneaks up behind him, and she's saying all these. I don't know how to say it. She's speaking very She's speaking very seductively to him, and just when you think, just like all these other times she's approached other people and given them the kiss of death, the lick on the face. Just when you think she's about to do that with Phoenix, because of this rivalry between Phoenix and Mil Muertes, she kisses him. She straight up kisses him. And it's like, whoa. and then, and he's shocked. And she says, don't let Mil Muertes find out about this or he'll bury us both. So yeah, that being the other interesting little relationship thing going on here in this show. Things are getting hot with Katrina and Phoenix and Mil. So yeah, we'll see where this goes in the coming weeks. Then we get to the main event between Mundo and Cage. Now this was a great match, but it was very slow paced, but nonetheless very good. And while this match was going on, King Cuerno was looking on, and then slowly throughout the match was like creeping up on the mat, getting closer, and it's like, oh, he's like stalking his prey, like they were saying, but you really couldn't tell who he was going after. Well, the match ends when Cuerno actually attacks Johnny Mundo. And one other thing I wanted to throw in here is how Cage came to the ring. He was wearing like the broken belt around his neck like a trophy. I thought that was interesting. So he's got the championship, but he's not champion. But yeah, he got a lot of heat from that. Yeah, back to the match. Cuerno attacks Johnny Mundo, hits him with the chair, takes out his leg, and Johnny's screaming in the ringside area or in the ring from this attack. And Dario Cueto, as Cage is just about gone from the temple area, because he's like, whatever, match is done. Cuerno can, finish him off. Cueto comes out of his office and he's screaming. He's like, I'm not going to let this 5-star match end like this. Restart the match. I love it when he's screaming. He's like, I got to love Cueto. And, Cage comes down and then, pounds the crap out of Mundo some more. And I give Johnny so much credit in this match because, man, he really took an ass whipping from both guys, especially Cage. And, it wasn't until the very end when he finally, was like, good night. He took an F5, kicked out of that. And it looks like Cage is, he's finished off a couple guys with this. He's done this gory stretch and then turned it into, they didn't call it a Sister Abigail, obviously, but it's a Sister Abigail type move. I'd have to look it up and see what they call that finisher, where it's, he's got him like this and knocks him backwards into the mat. Very similar to that. He even had Johnny Mundo in a stretch muffler. That's another one you don't see very much. The only one I've seen use that one lately is Solomon Crow from NXT. So that was cool to see that too. Yeah, all sorts of surprises from this Cage guy. So, nonetheless, Cage wins. But we're going to see this feud between Cuerno and Johnny Mundo heat up now, obviously. Um, I'm sure they're going to have another, Johnny's going to have another 5-star match with him. I can't wait to see that. And we'll see who Cage goes after next. Obviously, he wants another title shot soon. Uh, you know, is Prince Puma going to lose the championship soon? Be interesting to see. Then, just when you think the episode is done, it goes to Cueto talking on the phone, and someone's knocking on his office door. And he's like, "Go away, show's over." Knocks again, and in walks Alberto El Patron. He's like, "I'm Alberto El Patron, but you already knew that." Winks at the camera. Or not at the camera. Winks at Cueto. So yes, the former WWE champion Alberto Del Rio has arrived in Lucha Underground, and that's how the show ends. So, yeah, you've heard the news bits. If you follow wrestling news, you knew he was going to show up soon. They made the announcement on the Lucha Underground page. They showed him backstage in the world-class gym of the temple. So, yeah, I can't wait to see him. I know he's also done stuff in Ring of Honor. I haven't seen it yet. I've missed a few episodes of Ring of Honor, but I will not miss episodes of this. So it'll be great to see what you put his head together with Dario Cueto and see what kind of matches come out and who El Patron is going to feud against. I can't wait to see that. I didn't like him so much in the WWE. He seemed, I don't know, to me he just seemed stale. He was a great heel, but he just seemed stale. Maybe it was just how he was booked or how they presented him. But I give him a lot of credit for, showing up in these newer, situations like this, a new company like this. And I think he's also Conan's AAA champion right now, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think I read that somewhere. So, hey, wouldn't be surprised somewhere down the road, somewhere later this year, El Patron becomes Lucha Underground champion. Would you like to see that? I think I'd like to see that. I think he would certainly represent the show well. So that's it. Number 13. Cage is on a roll, knocking him dead. Katrina's turning heads and giving surprising kisses away, and Ivelisse is ready to kick her man in the balls. Great way to sum this one up. And El Patron has entered the building. That's it for this one. Can't wait till 14. Thanks for watching.